Yo, what's up chefs? It's Vinny, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the easiest, and actually in my opinion, one of the best ways to make multiple divine orbs per hour, and that's going to be by farming the Trial of Chaos. To be clear, I mean guaranteed divine orbs, like stuff you can bring over to Alva and immediately exchange for the goods like exalteds and divines. Yesterday on stream, I ran 10 Trials of Chaos back to back to back, put all the currency aside, totaled it up, and I'll be showing you what that looks like here in just a little bit. Before we get to that though, I thought I would just explain a couple of the things that I think make this strategy so good, especially for beginners, but even if you're a veteran player, this is an amazing way to just kick back, put a movie on your second monitor, and make some guaranteed currency. Number one, at an absolute minimum, you should be making at least 2+ divine orbs every hour from raw currency drops alone. In your slightly lucky hours, you'll probably be making about 3, 4, or 5, and in your really lucky hours, you can be making upwards of 10 divines of raw currency. Number two, this requires no investment whatsoever. I'm talking you don't need any Atlas points, you don't need to go pay 8 divines to get your Simulacrum points, you don't need to do Zest, you don't need any of these points, you don't need any of this stuff. No Atlas points, no currency required, you don't need any special maps, tablets, all the bullshit. All you need, literally all you need, is these inscribed ultimatums with number of trials 10. You can see up here at the top, number of trials 10. That is the only thing that matters. And more than likely, you've probably got a bunch of these laying around in your stash. If you don't, you can find them for 1 exalted orb each. For each of these, you'll be expecting a return of at least, on the low end, about 120 exalted orbs. So that's 1 exalted for 120. It's pretty hard to beat that if you ask me. Finally, another thing that I think is really nice about this is it's very easy to do. Unlike Simulacrum, which is extremely difficult, you need a very well put together character with a lot of invested currency into your gear. Zest is not the easiest thing in the world to do. T15 maps that are really juiced up, Delirious, Breach, all that stuff can be quite difficult. This is very, very easy. You can get a character with 150 Exalted Orbs worth of gear, go in, and you'll be blasting through it. And last but not least, I'm just going to throw up a screenshot really quick that shows a tier list of the best and worst mods that you can get during the Trial of Chaos. So for those of you that aren't familiar, at the beginning of each floor, you have to pick between 1 of 3 affixes that will stay active for the rest of the trial and ultimately make it a bit harder. For most builds, a lot of these are very negligible and don't really do anything, but depending on your build, you might want to be a bit selective for some of them. Outside of that, I thought I would just briefly explain where the currency is actually coming from the trials. So if you've already done Trial of Chaos before, feel free to skip this, head to the conclusion or the highlights, whatever you want to see. If you are new though, the way that you're getting the currency is going to be one of 2 ways, and you're going to be getting both of them every time, and that's going to be soul cores, and then ultimately these 3 fragments. Every single run, you're going to get 3 soul cores. The vast majority of them are worth about 25 to 35 exalted orbs, so if I just click on a couple random ones, this one's 27 per, this one's 28 exalted per, this one's 27, etc., etc. But occasionally you will get one of these, which as you can see is worth 1220, so that would be a huge bonus, of course, but I'm not really including that in the divines per hour whatsoever. Outside of that, so like I said, you're going to get 3 of those, so on the low end, you should be getting anywhere from 75 to 120 exalted orbs just from the soul cores. And then in addition to that, you're going to be getting 1 of 3 fragments, which is dependent upon the final boss. So if you get the Chimera or the bird down in the little like crater arena, you're either going to get Cowardly Fate or Victorious Fate. Both of these are not super crazy. This one's 75 exalted. This one's going for 55. Nothing to scoff at, but not as much as the final one, which is Deadly Fate. And this is going to come from like the big Ukachukka bird. I'll be putting something up on screen that shows which one I'm talking about, and these are going for 170 each. The reason they're going for more is because that boss is a bit more difficult. It has like a couple of, high damage mechanics, but if your build is even like slightly put together, you can kill that boss in 2-3 seconds. So, it's really not difficult, but it is the most difficult one, I guess. With all of that out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the highlights from the 10 runs that I did yesterday, and then I'll show you all the profit we made. The price of all of this, plus my jewels, plus skill gems, etc., is about 2 to 3 divine orbs, somewhere in there. Yeah, that's fine. What does this do? Does this kill me? No, it doesn't kill me. It's not too bad. I have another 100 div till I can afford Astromentus. If I do sell a decently priced item in a few days, I'm going to put it all on Chance and Stellars. Good luck with that, brother. Gambling in this game can be pretty rough. I mean, sometimes you hit big, but most of the time you go home with nothing. Ooh, Divine Orb. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Big Bird. But like fucking Valorant or Marvel Rivals, like there's so many other games that I'm like either top 500 or close to top 500 in. But funnily enough, POE 2 just happened to hit. And shit's been going well. And it's fun, obviously, so. Oh, so that's not the real Gordon Hayward, is it? Like, just gotta double check. I'm getting like some check mark next to his name in my chat. Wait, it means that YouTube has verified that channel. Wait. Yo! Yo, yo. Yo! That, oh my, yo. Okay, I'm not gonna show his Instagram on stream for out of privacy, but I will just say, like, he sent the message, bro. Like, it came from the verified 1 million follower fucking Gordon Hayward Instagram account. What the hell, bro? Massive shout out to you. Like, I mean, you made my day, you made my whole week. Nice, that's another one of the good ones. Let's go. 13 minute 15 seconds. I mean, maybe like 13 minute 30 if you count this part, but all right, let's hit the hideout. That's all 10 Trials of Chaos completed. Now it is time to go through the loot skis. We're gonna first go through all of this, sell all of the items, convert all of the currency to exalted orbs, and then after that we're going to go through all of the things in the dump tab, and if there are any good rares that we want to slam or enchant or anything, then I'll let you guys know about that once we get to it. Alrighty, here we are with the calculated totals, and from raw currency drops alone, we made 6 divine orbs and 111 exalted. Obviously, we converted everything up to divine orbs that we could. That shakes out to about 6.3 divines. As you could see from the final run that I did, I completed it in just over 13 minutes, and that's while interacting with stream and all of that stuff. I'm very confident you could get it down to 12 minutes or less runs. But to be generous and say you're doing a run every 15 minutes, we'll use that for the first calculation. So we're going to do 6.3 divided by 10. That's going to come out to 0.63. Multiply that by 4 because at 15 minutes a run, you're doing 4 an hour. And you're making 2.5 divine in raw currency per hour. That is not including any crazy good drops. We did not get a Soul of Oz Kappa, which would be an extra 4 plus flat divine right off the bat. So this is like pretty baseline. With that being said, we actually did these runs yesterday, and overnight the prices on all of these things went up by 10, 15, 20%. For example, the Deadly Fate fragment, the most valuable one, yesterday was selling for 150, which is where we got this from. Now today it's selling for 175, so that's over a 15% increase. If we wanted to be, realistic or current to what the market is, we'd multiply this by 1.15 and you come out with 2.9 divines per hour. You could take this one step further and say if you get your run down to 12 minutes, you're doing 5 runs per hour. We'll do 6.3 times 1.15, 6.3 times 1.15 for that 15% increase. Divide that by 10, then multiply that by 5 for 5 runs per hour, and you're getting 3.6 divines per hour, which once again is still baseline. And I would say that's pretty damn solid. You're not going to beat that by just doing regular maps. You're only going to beat that with maps if you really know how to juice them. You have really good tablets. You have all of your Atlas points filled out, like Simulacrum and Breach. So honestly, this is a very solid way to make a consistent amount of currency. And it's extremely easy. The final bosses at the end have like 1 million HP. In addition to all of that though, we did get 3 rares that were pretty nice. We got an amulet that chat and I agreed is about 50 exalted, a focus that's about 20, and then we got a ring that I was thinking was about 1 divine, but I had multiple people in chat saying it was probably 2 plus, because there's people that are, in the market for these types of rings where it's got like 1 or 2 bad stats and they want to chaos slam them. Obviously, if you were to get rid of the chaos resistance and chaos damage on this ring for something better, it would be a godly ring. I mean, it's got mana regen, increased rarity, increased lightning damage. It's already really good for a caster, but if you got rid of some of those stats, it would be insane. So if you add all that stuff in, that's about 2.2 divines, give or take. So we'll do 1/2 of that for the hourly rate and come out with 0.1 or 1.1, so plus 1.1. And if you were to include the price of the rares, that's 4.7 divines per hour, which is, like I said, that's pretty damn solid. I've done really juiced maps before with Breach, not Simulacrum points, but all my Breach points filled out, good tablets, like quantity of items tablets, quantity of items, rarity of items, waystones, and I don't feel like I make 5 divines an hour very often, or four divines per hour very often, even to be a little bit more generous. So do with that what you will. This is a super nice way to just make consistent currency, extremely easy. And finally, I do just want to say that I plan to make a bunch more videos like this for just different end-game currency farm strats. I'm going to be doing Trial of Secamus at some point, the Simulacrum encounter at some point, Breach plus Delirious maps, boss farming, all these different things. So if you have one that you want to see next, feel free to leave it down in the comments, and if it's the most upvoted strategy, then that might be the one we do next. Other than that, have fun blasting. And last but not least, take it easy, chefs.
Your blue eyes fade to gray.